H-A-T. It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast. On today's episode, we'll be gearing up for some Valentine's Day celebrations, all that good stuff. And we'll have a little conversation about some gifts that give all the year round, Clark. Right after these important messages. This episode of the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast is presented by Faulkner University. Faulkner University is a private Christian liberal arts university based in Montgomery, Alabama, with a mission to provide an education anchored by not only intellect, but also character and service. The Faulkner experience aims to educate the whole person. Every individual matters every day. We all want to become better versions of ourselves. No one wants to remain trapped where they are because of missed opportunities and unrealized dreams. At Faulkner University, we believe your dreams don't have an expiration date. We understand that you're looking for more than a degree. You want to find your niche and thrive in your career. Whether you're a high school senior just beginning your trek or an adult student looking for a better path, Faulkner is here to help guide your journey. Go to faulkner.edu to apply or get more info. That's faulkner.edu. I'm Travis Creasy in Fayetteville, Tennessee at Riverside Christian Academy, campus minister, Bible teacher, preacher for the church that meets in the cafeteria, Riverside Church of Christ, and that is all-pro counselor with three-chord counseling, also the preaching minister at Highland Park Church of Christ, also works at Mars Hill Bible School. Ben Hayes, what's up?
Not much. What's up with you? It's been a good day. We had a good worship today, and looking forward to a good discussion with you. Been a busy weekend. I think it always is a busy weekend. I keep thinking weekends are going to get like the rest time, but kids playing ball and all that good stuff. It's just busy. So
yeah, it's a beautiful weekend. It's February the 2nd. I think 6 more weeks of winter is what we got from old Poxitani. What's his name? There's a southern version that I was going to reference, and now I can't remember what it was, if it's a possum or a beaver or something.
Armadillo Arnold or something?
Yeah, maybe something like that down here. But you know what? If winter is like it is today for the next 6 weeks, that'll be awesome. But we all know
it won't be.
There's another snow. There's some more, of the freezing stuff coming.
We still have CYC to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be something crazy then. It's either really, really cold or it's raining.
The whole tilt boogie. Children's book coming out. We got it. Ben's got it for the screen. I like it. Nice.
Why not? Right there, man. It just looks solid.
Nice plug. So we are still taking orders for those. If you order right now, it will probably be March. But who knows? We might. Hopefully, I'm going to CYC planning on selling out.
Let's do it.
So just go ahead and reserve your copy. You got a couple of signings coming up. You guys are going to come, obviously at CYC. If you desire an autograph, me and Ben and Jacob will all be there.
A little Herbie Hancock.
Yeah, we'd love to do that for you. And then Read Across America Week is going to be a busy week. You guys are going to come up here on Tuesday, March the 4th. Then I'll come to you guys on the 6th. We'll be at Marcel. Of course, those are both private signings at the school. Can't just show up to those. Right. But there is a public one at Muscle Shoals Library beginning at 5:30 that Thursday. So, yeah. And I think that is my mom's birthday. So, shout out to you, Doris Creasy.
Oh, there you go.
The real MVP.
What better way to celebrate than
telling you.
Coming to the book. Now, I think they're going to be awesome. I'm really excited about coming to Riverside. Really excited about you guys coming to Mars Hill. I think it's going to be 2 really, really good days. And then the library, we'll do kind of some presentations at all 3 of those. So we may not have a voice when that week is over. It sounds like we're going to do it like 100 times at Riverside. So we're going to be doing some work with it. But I'm just super excited about talking about it. Excited to kind of get the ball rolling on the next one. And so we're moving and shaking. But we want to get it in the hands of people.
What a joyful ride it has been, and Lord willing, will continue to be. Drop a couple of Easter eggs there. Another thing, looking forward to an interview. I think got the confirmation that Karen Mann has agreed to to interview us about the book and the process of that coming. So if you've got questions about that process or what went into the writing or the drawing and what were some of the thoughts behind it, you can email those questions to hello@benandtravis.com or put them in the comments if you're watching this on Facebook or indeed the YouTubes. But man, that's not even really counting CYC. I know we mentioned it, but plenty of stuff going on there. The videos are done. And so, man, just holding down the fort. Looking forward to those. If you pre-ordered and you're not going to be at CYC, the next order that comes in is dedicated to you. And so we'll be getting those to you soon. A lot of people can't wait to get in their hands, and we certainly thank you for your patience. And many of you supported. You supported if you bought it. Some of you went above and beyond, and man, just looking forward to getting them in your hand.
Absolutely. You guys were awesome in making it happen, helping us make it happen. And I hope in the future get to partner with you as we continue to try to get some information out there. We try to get all of our information out there as a help. I had somebody text yesterday and say, hey, do you have any lessons on mental health? And I don't have a whole lot of those just available. We've done some things and done some teaching on it, but I did point them to the blog at benandtravis.com. We've got a series of things on mental health. It's at least kind of almost like a starter kit. Maybe can get the conversation rolling with some of the things that are there. I know I've done a couple of series there on different mental health concerns, but also a lot of the articles kind of go along the lines of mental health and faith and kind of can be used. Our videos are there. The podcast is there. So that's why we do what we do. Try to
Absolutely. And we want to help as many people as we can. And certainly the quickest way that any of this gets passed along is by word of mouth. But it's all there at benandtravis.com. You can sign up to get our emails. Our email folks get stuff pretty quick, and I'm forgetful, so I like the email. We try to outline it where you just scroll and you get all the information you could possibly want, maybe more. And then of course we have those awesome people on patreon.com/benandtravis who support year round with a monthly support, and they certainly keep the lights on, and they are, man, just the springboard to keep this thing going. Because it does cost to do a lot of this stuff, and they certainly help mitigate that. But we love everybody who listens, and love is in the air as we approach Valentine's Day. And it's interesting at my house because my daughter is a Valentine's Day baby. She was born on February the 14th. Oh. And so not only am I looking for gifts for my wife, I'm also looking for gifts for a little girl. And let me be honest, not had a lot of experience. Obviously, she's been in our house a long time now. I'm getting experience, but growing up, there wasn't a whole lot of that girly stuff at our house. And so
neither of our houses.
Yeah. So neither I'm learning as I go. But we talked about some of the gifts that give year round. And of course, I don't know when it comes to a marriage, romantic relationship, dating, whatever, that you can't start with the Bible. And I know that you and I both have done sermons on love, or certainly we better have if we're doing this Christian thing.
It can be really hard pressed to do sermon without it, I would hope.
Yes. And then respect. Yeah. And, generally speaking, we could stand, obviously, a lot more love. But I think respect is certainly an aspect of life that probably that muscle doesn't get exercised enough.
Yeah, like Ephesians chapter 5 kind of gets a bad rap with some people if you're not careful, because they kind of think it's saying something it's not really saying. But I think one of the things about Ephesians 5 that has just always stood out to me, of course, that's the last verse in that says, see to it that you respect your husband. Every wife respect her husband, and see to it that the husbands love their wives. And I've always just thought it very interesting. Maybe it shouldn't be interesting that the God of heaven and earth and the creator of the universe knows us, but that it came from him that, hey, women need to respect their husbands and husbands need to love their wives, from the standpoint of that's what we need the most. And so, men need to feel respected. It's kind of like our love language. I mean, it's not one of the five that we talk about, but it's one of the needs that you'll find in his needs, her needs. And if you do a lot of research, you're going to find that men just need to feel respected. They need to feel respected at work, and they want to feel respected everywhere, especially at home. And I think a lot of times that's one of the things that sometimes comes up. Not sometimes, it comes up a lot in marriage counseling, is just that lack of respect, that seems to be there. And then, to be fair, on the flip side, God knew that women needed to feel affection and be loved. And sometimes we're not so good at that either. So it's just kind of interesting how God says, hey, I know this is not your strong suit, men, but show affection, show love. And women, I know this might not always be your strong suit, but you need to show respect, because women are great at showing affection and love and all of those things. But sometimes it can be a little bit harder. Those are just not the way we think and the way we operate on the opposite ends of human sexuality there. So
that's so much of the commands in the Bible. When I read a direct command, or what we call a direct command, that it's usually, there's a reason it's a command, because we wouldn't do it otherwise, or it doesn't come natural, at least, And some people, sharing affection does come. We're speaking in very general terms.
It's general, yeah, absolutely.
But I think a gift that you could give is just taking some time. If you're a man or a woman that it's hard to show affection, do some homework, do some research in what ways you show affection are easier. Some people, it's notes. I can write down. I can't, but other people, maybe your jam is writing a note and leaving it, and that's how you show affection. Some people, it is physical touch. Some people, it's gift giving, and those are those languages. But sometimes we go, well, I'm just not good at showing affection, and we'll use that as an excuse not to find a pathway to do it. And I think that certainly is what that scripture is speaking to. Like, maybe maybe touch isn't your thing, but there's something out there that you can use as an avenue to get to that level. And I've certainly began to read those scriptures, and when I read, I think some people hear it as finger in your face telling you to do that, and there's an aspect of that, but I also read it and go, okay, am I easy to respect? Am I domineering? Am I living in a way that it makes it very difficult? Or maybe I'm not in charge at all when she needs me to be in charge, and maybe I'm just not paying attention of when I need to be that person a little more, whether it's with the kids or with my affection. And so I read it that way. Like, is it easy to respect me? Am I easy to love?
And some of that comes back to, we've got to, think about not what we're good at doing, but what the other person needs. And that's where the real struggle is, like you said, some people say, I'm not good at, gift giving, or I'm not good at quality time. Well, here's where the sacrificial part of love comes in, is you do the things not that you're good at, but the things that they need. And I think that's where understanding how you speak to them. And it's, in the book, 5 Love Languages, I know we've probably talked about that a few times, but it's like putting into a bank. I'm putting money in. And so when I speak your language, the thing you need, then I've given you a whole lot more money, or a whole lot more, love points, than if I just spoke the one that I'm comfortable with. Yeah. So if, that would be a big challenge for you guys this week, if you don't know, is look into what those are. And I'm sure there's more than just the 5. There's probably people who have made 7 or 8 or different ones out there. But what is it that speaks to your spouse? What is it that they feel? And maybe even just ask them, like, what are some of the things that you really look for? Because my wife, look, if I brought flowers home for my wife, she would just be like, why did you bring flowers? Those don't speak to her. Like, she's not a flower person, never has been, because she's just like, flowers will die. Like, what's the point of those, But I know people who are like, he brings me flowers and it just means the world to me. So it really depends on the person. And so finding the things that you go, well, this is what they appreciate. They want to snuggle on the couch. They just want to watch a movie together. They want to, go out to eat, and that's their thing. And so what is it that speaks to them? And maybe multiple things. and try to find some of those things.
Same thing on the respect. Most of us have some hustle for something we're passionate about. And maybe that hustle that your husband has for something maybe isn't your jam. Like, I know there are people, I play golf once a year, and that's only because I get to hang out with Ben and Will and Blake to play golf. But some people, that's their jam. And if you can respect the hustle that they put into that, even if you don't like golf, and you express that, I know when Whitney expresses any kind of respect for something over here that I did, it makes me want to do this thing over here good too.
Absolutely.
And so, I think that sometimes we just need to respect the hustle. Like, even if it's not speaking to what you're talking about, like, even if it's not something we necessarily appreciate or passionate about, if you can look at it and go, man, I respect the work and the effort that you've put into this. You can almost see every dude, their chest just kind of stick out and their shoulders broaden a little bit,
Well, that speaks to that attunement thing that John Gottman talks about too, is there's, if I'm speaking about something and you respond to me, even if it's just like, oh yeah, I see that, or, oh yeah, that was really cool. I noticed that. It doesn't even have to be anything big. You kind of turn to me instead of turning against me or away from me when I was talking about it. So like if I'm talking about deer hunting, my wife could care less about deer hunting, 100% doesn't care. But she'll sit and listen to my stories sometimes. And so I know she would rather be doing something besides listening to my deer hunting stories, but she'll listen to them. And the fact that she listens to them and responds to them and maybe asks questions about them, those always kind of bolster me a little bit. Makes me feel good because I get to talk about my man stuff that I do, and going out in the woods, and she listens. And it can be as simple as that. There's also, obviously other ways to show respect, but that's one that I think speaks pretty highly. So anything like that is always beneficial to helping out the other person. And I think that's what we're supposed to be kind of looking for.
I think the aspect of both of these things, a way to show respect and love, is be careful how you reference your spouse or in front of them or out in public or whatever. And I don't fall in the trap of necessarily, I don't think my wife appreciates when I bring up home things in my sermon. I do them from time to time because I'm a storyteller. But when I do, I make sure that it's not anything that would show a disrespect for them and their hustle, as I go back to that. But I think it can be tempting because we do know all the shortcomings, and they're probably a little louder to us because we do spend so much time together. And sometimes it's not malicious, but it's just out of comfortable, or, and anybody who has crossed that line probably has learned that lesson not to be that way. But, I do see that from time to time where it's almost like that other person can't ever do anything right.
Yeah. Don't leave that out there. That's a terrible thing. Even it doesn't bother me as bad because I know that I'm a kid at heart. Like, I know that sometimes I can be a kid. It's not a huge thing that bothers me if my wife were to say, and she doesn't, by the way, but if she were to say, I got 6 kids at home, because she's got 5 and got me, doesn't necessarily bother me, but I know some people it does. I know,
and 7 if I'm in the area.
Yeah, if Travis is around, she's like, yeah, I've definitely got 7. So, but it's not a bother for me, but it is for others, and so I can see where that's a cut at respect, and I guess depending on the scenario, it would. But my wife, generally speaking, Kenya, I don't say generally all the time. She's very praising in public. She doesn't run me down in any ways. I'm thankful for that. I don't do that either. I try, that's something that we have always tried to do, even with our kids, is it's all positive in front of them. We're not trying to run each other down in any way. And that speaks a lot, the love and respect part. And I think we have to, on both sides of the spectrum, husbands and wives, need to really show both of those things. I think the reason Ephesians points it out is because one does better than the other, generally speaking.
Well, the Bible does a tremendous job of bringing people into the balance of where they need to be, right? Like if somebody comes across as being too high on themselves, Jesus is really good at holding up that mirror and showing, well, we need to adjust that. And the people who tend to be low. And if you're like me, it depends on what day of the week, right? I need that adjusting and that adjustment tool. And I love Ephesians because, at that time in the first century, it wasn't an equal playing field.
Not at all.
So a very revolutionary thought through inspiration of the Holy Spirit is this respect and love aspect. And man, it would have been something it still can be difficult, especially in that culture. But as we begin to wrap up, Ben, we struck some gold. I like Would You Rather. And I will say this. I have finally accomplished something in life. I have designed a T-shirt that women actually like. And I just want everybody to know that because there have been several ladies who've purchased the Love Them Where They Are, but love them enough not to leave them there T-shirt online. Not a drove, but I will say, guys, if there's time, this is coming out on 2 Tuesdays before, I think, Valentine's Day. So if you order today, it's probably going to get there on time. But it comes in a long sleeve T-shirt, a sweatshirt. I think it's black, navy, and maybe gray. But I finally struck pay dirt. It's on. I don't know how long I've been making Ben and Travis T-shirts.
A while,
but I will say the Helping Humor, the blue with the white logo, sold okay. Yeah. But before we got into Would You Rather, I didn't want to drop that as a possible Valentine's Day if your lady is into clothing and stuff like that.
And there's other stuff on the website too. You can go buy other things, but that might be the main one that they're going to like. If you got a little kid in your life, little girl, you could get the book.
There we go. Yeah, my kids are like, there are a lot of people not happy with me and my family because I got a copy for myself.
That's it. Me too.
Both my son and daughter are like, so when are we getting our copies that we can keep in our room? And I'm like, soon.
It's gonna happen.
But Ben, we get into Would You Rather, and it's Valentine's Day gift for dudes. So Kenya, if you're listening, I know you're not. Whitney, if you're listening, I know you're not. But you could get some ideas here. But Ben, would you rather get an item that will help you in hunting? I don't know what that is or what you're looking for, or if you need anything at all. Maybe it's just give me back my bullets, or would you rather go eat a nice meal for Valentine's?
I'd probably rather. I mean, like if it's just like if I'm getting to go eat, like if it's a date night thing, then I'd probably rather have the date night. Just to go.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
At first I thought you meant, do I want somebody to give me a steak dinner? And I'm like, I can go without a steak dinner. Yeah. If it's going on a date, I'd much rather do that for sure.
Right, they're gonna give you a gift card that you could spend anytime, but to a nice restaurant.
If it's something where it's just for going out to eat, I'd probably rather have a gift from for hunting or something.
Gotcha.
But if it's
clarified.
Yeah.
I qualified
but I would much rather have the date night, but we get to eat. I mean, like, I just feel like sometimes we eat out a lot. So I can, like, eating out with just Kenya would be nice most of the time. And we went on a date this week. So that was nice. It was kind of in the middle of the day. We didn't really get to go at night, but we went and ate something and it was good. So I'd rather have that. So how about you? Which one did you rather have?
Man, I like to eat, bro. I like a good gift card, man. And my students know that, and so I like different experiences for sure. But I'll probably go with the eating.
So I got one. So would you rather have, if you were getting a gift, would you rather have something that would help you, like a tool around the house or something that you could use that's kind of like something for work? Tool type thing, or would you rather have something that is connected with having a good time going out playing, like as far as I know you don't play golf particularly or hunt, but you've got some other hobbies, maybe it's podcasting equipment, I don't know. But would you rather have something that helps you, or maybe even like a ticket to a game or something? Like, would you?
I'm going to go experience. I think experience and fun. I mean, if you got fun on the table, very well Travis Creasy is down.
It's in for the fun.
In fact, it might kill my soul a little bit if I don't get to go. That's even I can remember being a little kid, and Mom and Myra and Mary would be going shopping, and I'd want to go. Like, even if I knew I wasn't getting anything, like the going, which is probably our problem. Which is probably why you stay so busy throughout the year, because I'm like, hey, let's go do this thing or let's go do that, and but it keeps us out of trouble too.
It does,
for sure. Ben, I appreciate the time. I know, man, the spring and warmer weather, it's just going to make things get busier for us because we're going to get out there and get it. But we certainly hope that everybody who listens is having a great week. Once again, hit us up with those questions for the book interview. We'd love to answer them, and we look forward to being with you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Hey, parents and young adventurers, are you ready to embark on an extraordinary journey? Introducing The Adventures of Ben and Travis and the Worry Coaster, a thrilling ride through the ups and downs of mental health in our new children's book. Join our dynamic duo as they navigate the twists and turns of their emotions while discovering the courage to conquer their worries. Pre-order your ticket to adventure now at benandtravis.com/books and be among the first to embark on this roller coaster of resilience. Let's turn worry into wonder and empower kids to embrace their feelings with bravery and hope. Buckle up, it's going to be an unforgettable ride.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.